All right, let's try out this rising bass dominant seventh exercise. Again, we're going to be kind of working in a modulated environment. This isn't a course on modulations, but if I want you to try this out in all 12 keys and we're working with dominant chords, it just makes sense to take you down a fifth to that next key. You could try this chromatically, you could try it moving in whole steps, it's really up to you, but the modulation is going to work out more organically. Having said that, here's the exercise. You're going to play a C major chord in the right hand and an octave in the left. Let's play the chord 2 times, and now we're going to change it to a dominant seventh chord, and we're going to put the third of that dominant seventh chord in the left hand. This is a trick Beethoven and a lot of classical composers used a lot, because now the destination from C dominant seventh is F, right? This left hand is sort of acting like a magnet pulling us up to that F. So while I like to think of that falling down a fifth, kind of like gravity, I also think of semitone attractions kind of like magnets and metal. So it sounds like this. We get C major 2 times, C dominant 2 times with a third in the left hand to F, F dominant with the third in the left hand, B flat dominant with the third, we're going to drop this time, E flat dominant with the third in the left hand. I'll be quiet, it continues on the same way. Almost there. And then you're back to C. The point of this is just to show you that you can start experimenting with what notes you put in your left hand. It doesn't always have to be the root, and especially when you're doing these dominant modulations, you might want to consider putting the third into the left hand, which will pull you up a semitone. And this also works with minor chords, moving to dominant, because when you take this flat 3 and move it to the major third, there's a big shift happening in the sound. Let's really reinforce that shift with the left hand. So within a composition, I'll just play something small for you here. It might sound something like this. So that was just off the top of my head. I'm sure you're going to find this a lot in the wild in classical and romantic music, but feel free to try applying it to rock, pop, hip hop, electronic music. That's one of my favorite things to do, is to take some of these classical tricks and bring them into electronic music. It's happening more and more, so find a unique way to do it to make it a style all of your own. That's it for this class, and I'll catch you in the next one.